was the right time. It was the same time as the UFC having dramas with the Conor and all that. And I'm
Did
just
your
like,
phone
hey,
ring?
no, well, I rang them. So I was pestering them. I ain't
You're like
kidding.
a
They're
crack
like, oh,
fiend
mate.
that is looking for a fight. Hey, y'all got any fights? Y'all got
Yeah,
any other fights?
I think they're probably going to do Max and Ilia, and I'm in a position now where if they do that and they want me to fight March or something or April, all right, I'm going to fight lightweight. So that exciting. Your Charles Oliveira's, there's exciting fights that I would love to do while I'm waiting as well.
I am David Adesanya, your uncrowned 145-pound champion, here with another fellow uncrowned champion, a man who ruled the featherweight division with an iron fist for 1,526 days, a title reign that included him holding the pound-for-pound number one spot, frequent activity, frequent title defenses that people are only now starting to appreciate, 2 super fights with the lightweight champion Islam Makhachev, asterisk on the second one, I don't personally count it. He'll pick up the phone if Dana calls on short notice. The one, the only, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. How are you, champ?
Damn, that was a long introduction. Mate, I don't think everyone's went that detailed, went deep with that one. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I was just spitting nothing but facts, okay? Nothing but facts and all there, okay?
Oh yeah. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing. It's good when I'm not going to say it, so it's good when other people do. You know what I mean?
How are you? How's the time off been treating you?
Man, I'm great. I'm really good actually. Time off's been really good. So it's been good for me to just. Yeah, I've been hard at it for like 13, 14 years. When I say hard at it, I mean no days off. Especially mentally, my mind's always been on fighting. Even when I wasn't, for the last 13, 14 years, even if I wasn't at the gym, my head was still there. My head was still conscious of fighting or weight, watching the weight maybe, or, just things like that. What I should be doing, I should be in the gym, you know what I mean? It's been great to actually just not have any of that. So, it's been really good. Like for me to just be like, all right, if I'm going to, whatever I want to do, I'll train outside of everything else. And it's been great, mate. It really has. So it was funny because I was like that for, it was a few months now. And I went to Thailand and I just picked up that training just a little bit. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to be able to flip that switch. Let's see if I can flip that switch back. And I did like my first sort of proper sparring session. And that's all I needed, the sparring session. Because I was doing sessions and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. But then the fact that I was like, all right, because this is where I knew, all right, I'm starting to pick up training again and taking a bit more serious once the sparring was there. And I think that's what it was, because that just flipped the switch. And it was like, my last week was like my first full scheduled, full training scheduled sort of week.
Yep.
And I'm right back into calling up Ash and being like, hey, I want to fight. You know what I mean? Let's get a fight, And then obviously it was the right time. It was the same time as the UFC having dramas with the Conor and all that. And I'm just
Did your
like,
phone ring?
No, well, I rang them. So I was pestering them.
Yeah.
So I pestered them. So I'll be honest, they didn't call me. I guess, some will say they're probably doing the right thing. They knew that I wanted to break. A lot of people like, oh, he's having a break. So I think out of respect, they let me not worry about it, because they probably knew I would say yes.
Yeah.
So because they didn't call me, or I didn't get any phone calls or messages, I decided to message them. So I actually messaged them a few times. I'm like, hey, if you need someone, you know a guy. And they're like, you're a savage, man. I go, look, we appreciate it. I go, no, I'm serious. He goes, I know you are. We know you are. I will let you know if we need you. But I think they were always going to do their own thing. I'd message them the next day and be like, hey, just a reminder. I ain't
You're
kidding.
like a fucking crack fiend that is looking for a fight. Hey, y'all got any fights? Y'all got any other fights? That's fucking funny. That's just you to it.
But it's funny though. It's funny you say that. So people say that. People be like, oh no, man. Like, if you put it this way, if it was 2-3 weeks before that, it would have been a different story. I didn't have my head like, it wasn't like that at all. I was like, no, I'm not fighting. Like, I've told the UFC, I'm fighting till the end of the year. And I think they respected that. That's why they didn't even call me.
Yeah, no, that's really
so I told them that. And it wasn't until I started picking up the training, because I took it serious. I was, sitting back and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do a proper recovery. It's been, I think, over 3 months, 4 months of me, no head contact or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I started training again. And then I was like, come in, get me in there. So if this would happen like three weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I would have been like, nah, I'm not doing this. No way.
Were you getting, maybe not burnout, but starting to feel that, like, you might have needed a break just from the mental part of things? Or was it only after you had the break, then you had, like, a different perspective and you were like, oh, okay. It is nice having, like, a bit of a mental...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, it is. I think you don't understand it. So even when I was like... we've obviously trying to figure out, like, before the second fight, going through a bit of a rough patch there. A bit of that was because I wasn't in the gym through injury, and it was hard. No, it was just a couple of things why I couldn't be. Obviously, I had the newborn and that as well. So I had a lot happening, but I couldn't switch this off from fighting. I was still, man, how much longer do I have in this sport? Blah, 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 you name it. So that's still going. I should be in the gym. I should be doing this. And because I'm not, what's going on? And then it was hard for me to find real purpose in the gym unless I was fighting for a camp. Because I didn't have a fight, I was like, I'll spend more time, help out with the little bubs. Oh, but I should be in the gym. You know what I mean? It was just, a few things. There was a few things going on there.
Yeah.
So it was just harder for me to sort of get my head around it because I wasn't able to switch that off.
Yeah, you weren't in the right headspace.
Yes, well, I wasn't. I told you, but then this time, right? I told myself, all right, you need a break. 2 back-to-back. You obviously, people say I rushed the last one. Going from the first concussion, fighting like 3 months later. Okay, maybe I'll do what maybe I should have done after the first one. Yeah. I'm going to take this, and I accepted it. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Bang, flipped it off, switched it off, and I was able to do that. And it wasn't until then do I realize, oh man, like that's where it was. It was the fact that I couldn't flip that switch. You know what I mean? Like a switch up. Well, I didn't let myself switch up because I was still in. Like, I need to fight. I need to defend. Because how much longer have I got in this sport? It was like, so it was a lot happening there at the time.
Yeah.
So it's where now I was like, all right, I know I need the break. It's all good, and I've accepted that. And it's been great. So I went to a point where I was like, oh man, like, because I'm used to, even when my head would go, like, places as in, oh, are you getting old? As piss off, I'd fight those, you're going to have these little games in your head. You're going to fight them off and be like, piss off, no way. Yeah. I'm going to win them little battles all the time. Where now, because I switched it off, and then I started getting to a point where I was like, all right, do we still want this? I was like, and then I'm like, because I was questioning that, I'll be like, look, you're having a break. Don't even, once you want to get back in there, it's going to come back. Stop, relax. Yeah. Don't worry. It's all good. So I'm having these sort of questions. So that would come up, and I would like try not to fight and be like, nah, look, once I want to flip the switch, I'll be right. And I was able to just let them thoughts go and not fight it at the time.
We haven't talked since your last fight. It's been 4 months removed since the last fight against Ilia Topuria. When last did you watch the fight, and how many times have you watched it back?
I haven't really watched it much. I watched it like pretty much straight after, maybe a couple times straight after, a bit after, and that's all I needed to know. I know. It's a tricky one for me because you don't want to be I don't like being a sore winner. I don't like being a sore loser. But I just know, obviously, everyone's going to say that, and we have a right to believe this and say this. But I know I can fight a lot better than that.
Yeah,
I don't think that was.
You were winning the fight.
Besides that, see, a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, "Oh, you're winning anyway." I go, "Yeah, but still, it wasn't me fighting."
Yeah.
So I was winning. I wasn't fighting my fight. I wasn't. Anyway, there's plenty I could talk about, but I won't get into too many details because I plan on getting that belt back. But there was again, I just didn't fight my fight. That's an easy way of putting it, right? So I was able to. People go, "Oh yeah, but you win." I go, "Yeah, look, I wasn't fighting my fight. I was still winning. That doesn't make it okay." I put myself in a position where there was, if with the right man in front of you, like, and that's why you got to give Ilia credit. For someone can capitalize on things that I was doing, he did. So you got to give him credit for that.
How do you think he's carrying himself as champion so far? Because he's saying he doesn't want to fight any challengers. He wants to fight Conor. It's a bit, yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, he's in a position, obviously, straight after that, he would have felt the love and the hype, obviously that would have been massive for him, because he was saying he's going to be the next Conor McGregor, and then after that fight, I think he probably thought he was already there.
Yeah.
But he does, I think he's probably feeling it now. People quickly forget, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is. Like, you're the absolute man one day, the next day everyone forgets till you prove them wrong again, till you prove yourself again. So that's just how it is. So, like, obviously he felt all that and then he's rolling with it, but I think it's starting to put a bit of a sour taste in people's mouths. It's like, man, look, I don't mind the guy. I don't mind the guy.
He's a nice
guy.
I
really don't. He is. Like, I mean, he plays the game. Like, obviously a lot of people are going to give him, he's a trash, he's cocky, man. Like, he did a great job promoting that fight. He's actually a respectful dude, but that's the that's what he wants to do. Good on him, yeah. And he did it well, and it paid off for him. But just with this stuff, it's just like it doesn't look good when you're telling everyone you don't want to fight any of the top contenders. It's like, what do you mean? You're coming from a champion who would fight anyone, anywhere, any weight, anytime. You know what I mean? Like literally active. Trying to push the UFC to get him back in there. Like, here I am, like, who is it? Who's next? I'll stuff it while I'm waiting. I'll do a lightweight fight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Like, so you went from that to someone who's, doesn't really want to fight, trying to pick and choose who he wants to fight.
Yeah, I feel like these guys don't understand. I mean, like, you hear fighter pay complaints all the time, but it's things like this that determines how your contract negotiations will go. Because the UFC don't forget. They don't forget when it comes to how much are you gonna pay me, and they're gonna look at back and be like, when we asked you to scratch our back, did you scratch our back, or were you being a diva? Were you being difficult? So I feel like guys need to play the game better, because ultimately, that's prize fighting. You want to make the most money, and having these types of attitude is because you think it might be all good now. You've got the belt, it's all good now, but when your manager goes in that office. I mean, they're gonna bring out the receipts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that, right? Like, because I'm gonna sit there and talk about being active, and you just mentioned, they want to make their most money. Being active is where you're gonna make your most money. I mean, you ain't gonna make a quick buck like you do when you're fighting. So get active, and I learned that from like Izzy and that, and I was like, oh man, he's got the right form, man. I love it. And when we talk about our mentality, like myself and Israel Adesanya, and people start to say, oh, you burn yourself out and all that, and then they try to look at it all as a bad thing. I was like, okay, it's everything is going to eventually maybe take its toll to an extent, but we wouldn't be the champions we were. We wouldn't be in the position we are now, like mentally and everything. Like our mentality and our mindset. That's what made us great champions to be able to defend that, because that's the type of guys we were. So people 100%. Are sitting there acting right now because, we need that break, right? Everyone's like, as if it was a bad thing. It's go, mate, that mentality, got us how many time defending champ? You know what I mean? That's
the proof's in the pudding,
Yeah. I'm like, all right, okay. Eventually you go, all right, now I'm going to have a break. All right, yeah, sweet. No worries. But I'm thankful that I was like that for how long I did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the appreciation from the people if I wasn't like that. I wouldn't have the money in the bank like I do. I wouldn't be able to look after my family like I'm able to right now if it wasn't for that. And I'm very thankful for that. People want to have fighters' identity and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Mate, I'm like, that's what you need. That's what you need to be champion. You want to be top of the game? You've got to be crazy for the I was about to swear. You got to be crazy for the fucking thing. I'll swear anyway.
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah, there you go. You got to be crazy for the fucking thing. You know what I mean? That's it. Like that's how it is. But it's been great for me to be able to switch it off and realize I can switch that off now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, people want to act like this fighter's identity blah, 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 is a bad thing. It's like I'm ready to switch that back on. I'm ready to be like, all right, now I can switch it off. But there's going to be a time where, all right, all the sacrifices are going to come back. There's going to be no more time. I can't go fishing. I can't do all this sort of stuff. The time I spend, it's just going to be family and fighting and whatever quality time I can do with the family. But even that's going to be limited now. I'm going to miss out on your, the funerals, weddings and all that. As bad as it sounds, there's going to be a lot of sacrifices. There's going to be times I'm overseas. I can't make things. It's just, that's just how it is. Because I'm going to be in the game 100% committing to it until I'm done. And right now I'm having a break from that, which has been great. But I'm going to have to put that back in, and I'm okay with that. And that's what made Izzy and myself, and there are other champions out there, that's what made us the champions we were. And people will always appreciate that. And I think 100%. That's being missed.
All right, Chandler versus Conor. At what point should Chandler move on? Like, what advice would you give him?
Man, it's a tough one, man. Hopefully Chandler is in a good position where he can just wait, because he's just thinking this as a legacy. When I say legacy, I don't think this is a legacy fight as if it's going to make you like GOAT status. No, but I mean legacy as in I got to fight Conor, the hype, legacy moving on. You know what I mean? Like in a sense where stardom can grow, like in that sense. I think if he's in a position now financially where he could just wait for it, all right, But I mean, if you are, if you still, unless you're set, wait for it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can wait for it if you
I
are
mean,
set. But if you're
hopefully,
not set, if you're not
hopefully,
set, you could be waiting a
yeah.
very long time if it even happens.
I was just saying, hopefully, Dana threw him a bone, backstage, like, here's a check,
Hopefully.
appreciate you waiting, appreciate you, fingers crossed. But I mean, if that's
Sorry about this, like we don't know how long, you don't know. Like, a lot of people are going to say Conor's just done. He's not going to, it could be, it could be injuries. It could be something. It could be something he still really wants to do.
Just give me a quick soundbite of what you thought about Islam and Poirier and an early preview of how you think he'll fare against Arman.
I mean, yeah, that was a fun fight, a good fight.
Were you seeing things in that fight and being like, damn, if I could...
No, not really. Like, I mean, I think Poirier still did great in a sense where, you didn't get controlled as... I thought he would get controlled a bit easier, so he did better there. But, I mean, I think Islam looked great on the feet. I was quite surprised how much he outstruck Poirier. I think, I don't know, that wasn't really talked about, I thought, where he was landing a lot more significant shots, and which I was quite impressed with. But I mean, then I was really impressed with Poirier's ability to get back to his feet. I think they did a great job there as well. So very happy with the guys. Obviously, everyone that fights Islam's going to know they're going to have to step up their game on the ground, and sometimes he's going to have to use his striking, and he's going to surprise people with his striking. So you got to see that. But I mean, it was a fun fight. I think, like I said, I thought Poirier did great. I think maybe just everyone expected Poirier to maybe get finished a bit easier, where a lot of people have maybe taken a bit of credit away from Islam, because I thought he fought great as well. Like, so I was surprised it wasn't talked about how good he was looking, especially after the first round. You got to give Poirier credit because it looked like, oh man, this is going to be smooth sailing for Islam.
Yeah.
And then second round, he got taken down pretty easily. I thought he looked, I'm like, oh man, just Islam's too strong. Then bang, he bounced back and started defending all the takedowns. And so you got to give credit to Poirier there, because that's not easy to do. And then I thought the southpaw and southpaw style would be a big would be difficult for Islam striking, but he proved me wrong. He did all the right things there. He used all the right tools and changed up his game to fight. So it just shows you've got a clever team. They both got clever teams, and they both did a great job.
Yeah. Do you think the Arman fight will be mostly on the feet?
No, I think they're going to still shoot. It's going to instinctively, it's always going to be there. But I mean, I believe Islam's striking's much better since they last fought.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed with Islam striking is even when he was striking, unless when he knew he had Dustin dead to rights, he wouldn't overextend or overcommit on some of his punches. Like that just
the same as Khabib.
The level
exactly. That's the same as Khabib. Like they're very calculated in everything. Very calculated when it goes to the ground, when to take you to the ground, if the takedown's even there or if it's not. And then in the strikes, they're going to be very safe.
Yeah.
Better options, safer options, you know what I mean? And he did a great job of that. Arman, again, is mate, you're in for a tough fight with Arman. So I'm expected to be another close, tough fight. I think he'll be standing more. I think Arman's shown that he can knock people out. Also, same as Islam, I guess, as well. But Islam, I think, might be that little bit more calculated on the feet. But I think it's going to end up being a bit of a dogfight. So let's see who wins that dogfight. That's how I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be strikes. There's going to be scrambles. It's going to be a bit of everything. Yeah, I see it being quite a competitive fight. And it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be a great one for the crowd. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice. Final question. I know you're far from done fighting. You're already a legend in the sport, Hall of Famer. But I'm sure you would have done some thinking about how you want to write this other part of your career from here on out. What are some of the things that you want to tick off? Do you like what more do you feel like you want to either do or accomplish before it's all said and done?
I mean, look, for me right now, what excites me? So it's the things that excite me. In featherweight, it's just the belt. Obviously, the rematch and the belt, right? That's big. And then, to be honest, exciting big fight. I like that. So, but it's weird. Featherweight, I'm still that competitor where like, all right, this is my division. I'm getting it back. You know, I want that win back. You know, things like that. So it's going to be there. But then lightweight, it's like, let's have some fun while we're waiting. Because I think they're probably going to do Max and Ilia September, because I told the UFC I didn't want to fight till later in the year. Like I said, I really committed to that in my head. Now I started training. Now I'm like, I wish I didn't tell them that. You know what I mean? Like,
give it to me. Give it to me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. So it's funny. So I did that, but I mean that's fair. I said, but now but I did say, look, I don't want to wait too long either. And I'm in a position now where if they do that and they want me to fight bloody March or something, or April, I was like, oh, well, all right, I'm going to fight a lightweight. Give me an exciting fight. So that's still exciting. Exactly. So I want an exciting fighter like, Charles Oliveira. I did call out Poirier after that when I thought that, he's a great dude. We get along. I think he's a good man. And he's obviously a big fun fight. There's still history there with, mutual opponents we fought. He's used to fight at featherweight, things like that. And obviously a big name, fun fight that would be. So that exciting. Your Charles Oliveira's. There's exciting fights that I would love to do while I'm waiting as well.
Yep.
So, just whatever excites me. The belt excites me. Ilia, obviously, rematch excites me. So that's the main things in the featherweight. Like, I wouldn't just fight anyone in featherweight because my next fight's for the title, and that's that. Like, and the UFC know that, and I know that. So, but lightweight, where we can have a bit of fun, something exciting. And that, a big fight, that excites me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're about to go shoot some cooking with Volk. That is absolutely blowing up on the internet. God damn it, man. You're a damn fucking TikToker now. Jesus. The numbers are ridiculous. Shout out where people can go and watch your content.
Yeah, obviously. It's pretty easy to find on Instagram, Alex Volkanovski. YouTube, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. That will come up. Or just write Volkanovski. It'll pop up. First thing there. Click subscribe. You know how it is. And we're going to be doing plenty. Obviously, on TikTok as well. I'm going to be doing more. I've been talking to this man right here. We're going to probably get everything going. So stay tuned for all of that. And I'm going to even I'll wait for that little piece of information. But plenty more content coming to you, and I'll leave it at that.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Volk. I appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? Izzy here. Like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy this video.